The gifts are full of bugs this week in Pokemon Go. In raids, Enamorus and Mega Tyranitar will continue until just 10 AM on Monday when Xerneas and Yveltal will begin to feature in 5-star legendary raids, and Mega Garchomp will take over in 4-star mega raids. All can be shiny except for Enamorus. Xerneas is a top fairy type attacker but does require an elite fast TM, and Yveltal is a top flying type but requires an elite charge TM, though you can use it as a decent dark type without the need for an elite TM. Mega Garchomp is a top dragon and ground type and does well without the need for an elite TM. It's a 3rd stage evolution, so you can get 20 plus Gibble candy per catch if you use a Pinette Berry, making it a very budget-friendly option. 5-star raids will next change on Monday, February 24th. Pidove will feature in the Max Monday hour from 6 to 7 PM with Grookey, Machop, and Phalanx being available along with Pidove for the entire week. Pidove is a new addition to the Max system, and Unpheasant could come in handy for future Dynamax battles, especially if you have a stockpile of candy ready to go. On Tuesday, the Scatter to the Winds event begins at 10 AM. The bonuses will be 2 times XP for spinning stops, 5 times XP for spinning new stops, and you'll be able to open an additional 10 gifts per day. Pidgey will have a boosted shiny rate as well as the new shiny force Scatterbug, which you encounter by pinning postcards. The number of guaranteed lucky trades you can do will be permanently increased by 10 to a new total of 35. These trades now trigger when a 2019 Pokemon or older is traded, as long as the sender of the old Pokemon isn't over their guaranteed lucky limit. Check the comments below for more information on this. There will also be a $5 paid ticket, which includes a new avatar pose. On Tuesday at 1 PM Pacific time, the active Go Battle Leagues will become all 3 open leagues. You can check the GBL schedule in-game to see what's coming up and for when the leagues change in your local time zone. The weekly Spotlight Hour runs from 6 to 7 PM on Tuesday and will feature Inkay. For 1 hour, it will be everywhere in the wild at a boosted spawn rate, and the active bonus will be 2 times catch XP. Malamar is ranked well in both the Great and Ultra Leagues. To evolve Inkay, you'll need to turn your phone upside down. Be sure to Mega Evolve a Dark or Psychic type for extra catch candy. The weekly raid hour runs from 6 to 7 PM on Wednesday and will feature both Xerneas and Yveltal. An instant raid will appear on most gyms at 6 PM if there are players nearby with the game open. The raid will last 25 minutes, then there will be a 5-minute break before the next 25-minute raid will appear. PokeStop Showcases will end on Wednesday and Sunday at 8 PM, likely featuring event-themed Pokemon. Enter them for easy Stardust and XP, and you could win premium items. On Thursday at 8 PM, the short-lived Scattered to the Winds event will end. Weekends in February have featured Shadow Regirock in 5-star Shadow raids, which are in-person only. This will be your last good opportunity to raid this Pokemon until it's likely back in rotation in May. Although it will also be available to raid the following week, most raids over the first weekend of March will be featuring the Go Tour Pokemon. Shadow Regirock is outranked by the non-Shadow version in the Ultra League, so if you find one with PvP IVs, you may want to purify it. From Friday to Sunday, the in-person Unova Go Tour events will take place in LA and New Taipei City. For the rest of us, maybe we'll get some remote raid invites, or you could just relax. It's rare to have a weekend without an event. The weekend PokeStop Showcase will end at 8 PM on Sunday, and the seasonal bonuses for Dual Destiny will continue to be active until March 4th. Thanks for watching. Now we're going to jump into a bit of a bonus round and talk about some of the latest news, some recent leaks and rumors, and kind of the state of the game in general. The dates for next season's community days and raid days and all those big weekend events have been announced, and it's looking like it's going to be a very busy time for the next 3 months. We already know the community day for Saturday, March 8th is going to be Fuecoco, and then we will quickly have a community day classic later in March, which my guess would be either Chikorita or Totodile. Then we'll have the April community day, a May community day, and a May community day classic, so it's pretty stacked for community days. But it's even more stacked when you start to look at the rest of the weekends. We're actually going to have a full weekend here, a Max Battle weekend, which is probably going to be similar to how the first Max Battle weekend was with the 3 Kanto starters, which just had them randomly around the map for the entire weekend. But take a look at this. We have Saturday, March 22nd, a community day classic, and then the next day on Sunday, March 23rd is a raid day. Those don't usually happen back to back. And then again in May, a community day classic on the Saturday, and on the Sunday, a Max Battle day. So it's going to be a very busy time. Just look at all these raid days. It was already pretty predictable that every single weekend would have something, either a raid day, a community day, a hatch day, or something. But now we're actually doubling up on some weekends, so it's getting kind of nuts. You can bet that all of these will have a $5 US paid ticket, and of course the community days have their usual $2 paid tickets, so they're looking for opportunity to charge. But you know, since you can play it all for free, that's a lot you're getting for free as well. Recent data mines have shown that all of the Mega Pokemon we don't yet have in the game, all of their sprites have been brought into the back end, so it might not be too long before we start to see the rest of the Megas introduced, which actually makes a lot of sense because there's a good chance we're going to get a whole new crop of Mega Pokemon with the introduction of Pokemon Legends ZA, the new game that's going to come out for the Switch later this year sometime. So if there's going to be a whole bunch of new Mega Pokemon, they may be be at the point where it's like, well, why hold back and trickle these out if they're going to have another 20 to 30 to slowly dole out over the next few years? So when you look at all the raid days we have in here, there's going to be at least, I'd say at least 2 of these are going to be mega raid days. And I think there are only like 6 or so mega Pokemon we don't have yet. So that'll be exciting. It's always nice to get a new mega. We're going to have another Shadow Raid Day, and hopefully that's not just Lugia, although good chance it will be, since we just had a Shadow Raid Day for Ho-Oh. And if it's anything like last year, they did Ho-Oh in January, and they did Lugia again. I don't think it was May last year, I think it was a little later than that, but either way, if they're pairing those up again, cool, I guess, but it would be nice if they skipped ahead a little bit and did something from Hoenn instead. I really thought we would be seeing Shadow Kyogre and Groudon this year since they were introduced with Giovanni last year, but I guess we'll have to wait and see in May. Actually, a lot of this could be connected because there were also data mines that confirmed that, one, there will be a Pokemon Presents on Pokemon Day, which there is every year at the end of February, but specifically through Pokemon Go data mining is where people confirmed that there would be a Pokemon Presents. And the big thing, of course, Legends ZA is going to get probably a lot more details since we really don't know that much about that game. It's only been revealed in a kind of a short teaser trailer. But that teaser trailer did tease Mega Evolution, which is why, I think there's going to be a lot more Megas introduced. So maybe we're going to have something like Season of Mega Pokemon or something, and maybe that's why there are so many raid days just crammed into this schedule. Anyway, before we get into the actual data mine stuff, there has been an official update. I'm curious to know what other people's experience has been with it because I have seen a lot more Pokemon spawning recently. It used to be that I had 1 spawn point that I could reach from my house, and now I have 4 or 5. So when they say that there was an update to Pokemon encounters ahead of the Unova Tour, yeah, that happened a few weeks ago, and with this update, Pokemon will appear even more places than before. Densely populated, rural, suburban, rapidly expanding areas. I guess they're just trying to say everywhere. Definitely more Pokemon spawning. And yeah, in the kind of rural streets around my place where it's been pretty barren, definitely more spawns out there, which is a very positive change to the game, because for a rural player, you don't get many Pokestops, you don't get many gyms. The least they could give us is some Pokemon to catch. Okay, let's dive into some of this data mine stuff because, yeah, like I said, all of the remaining Megas have been data mined in the game. All their sprites are now available in the game, in the back end, as well as sprites for the Aegislash, which is like the Swords Pokemon from Generation 6, and a couple Generation 7 Pokemon, that being Mewtwo, Wishy-Washy, and Nickit and Thievul, which are actually from Generation 8. The sprites for the Zacian and Zamazenta crowned forms have also been added to the back end, and Eternatus has been added, which is like the big bad Pokemon boss from Generation 8. They've also added Cubfu and Urshifu, both forms of that, so there's potentially some big stuff coming up, although a lot of this could be saved for the season after next, which is the season where Go Fest will take place. Actually, a lot has been added. There's also the Tinkatink family, G-Max Machamp, Gossifleur, Sizzlipede, Centiskorch. So basically, they're just working behind the scenes to bring a lot of stuff into the game that we should be seeing pretty soon, including some new Dynamax Pokemon, which include Caterpie and its evolutions, and Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. So we did just see the legendary Kanto birds a few weeks ago, and we could be seeing the Johto beasts from Gen 2 in this next season in Dynamax, which could be an interesting new mechanic they're going to just do and kind of run through each generation once a season, give us kind of the primary legendaries that way through the Dynamax system. I'm padding this video out a little bit as an experiment because it seems that YouTube really doesn't like you unless you're making 30-second videos or like 14-minute videos. When I put out an efficient 3 to 4 minute video, it just doesn't put that in front of as many people. Even though the ratio, like the time watched of the total length of the video is the highest, like 75% retention, because the total amount of seconds watched is less than my other videos. Like if I put out an 8 to 10 minute video, it's going to have more watch time. It has more seconds to view. And so they put it in front of more people so it gets more views. So they really just suppress, basically, a short video. And I'm guessing 8 minutes is the threshold you need to pass in order to put in a second ad in the video. So it's not too big of a mystery why they are going to be encouraging us to make at least 8-minute videos. So I might start doing a lot more stuff like this. I need to figure out a little bit of a groove though. I don't want to just ramble the whole time. This alone, I've been actually recording for like half an hour. I'm going to try to cut this down to like 5 minutes. I guess let me know how I did. Anyway, thanks again for watching. See you next week.